Hey everyone, it's Justin. Thank you for watching and welcome to my house. That's Justin's house. In this video, it's part 2 of MySheets overview of that new ServiceNow Innovation Lab application. In part 2, I'm picking up right where I left off. I haven't even changed the screen. What we did in the first part, we set up the sheet and I configured a form, and I also shared this with Able Architect, Abraham Lincoln, and George Washington. So what I want to do in this video is I want to log in as those users and take a look at what this looks like. So let's go ahead and we will impersonate Able Architect or Able Tutor. I always call him Able Architect, but his name is actually Able Tutor. I hope he isn't offended. We'll go ahead and impersonate him there. And while this is loading up and impersonating him, I'll just point out when I installed this application, I didn't get any application menu, so I had to do a little homework. And essentially, the way to get to this dashboard for the MySheets application is to add /MySheets onto the end of the URL for your instance. So whatever it is, .service-now.com/MySheets. In fact, I'm going to stop it here as Able Architect because it was trying to load the application portfolio management, and I'm just going to go straight to MySheets, and that should hopefully open that a little faster. All right, here I am. I'm in as Able Architect, and let's see if you can see Justin's house. Look, he can. There's Justin's house. There's the ServiceNow enhancements list that we created in the first video. So let's check out what he sees. All right, so he's an administrator, so this looks identical to what we saw when I configured this in the last video. But let's go ahead and add this is Able's idea, and we'll just make sure that we can see that and it's distinctive from everybody else. Enterprise Architects Rock! Exclamation point, and we'll put his as should have, just so we could choose something different. And notice I'm in the view for users, so if I switch to administrative view, there's that story that we hid from the users. Alright, so that's Able Architect. Let's actually go now back to the UI and we'll impersonate Abraham Lincoln. Alright, I'll cut out all the in-between time, but I had to wait a few minutes or a few seconds there to get out of Able Architect as his application portfolio management loaded, and now we are going to impersonate Abraham Lincoln. Here we go. Type in Abraham Lincoln. There he is, impersonate user. And again, I'm going to shortcut this to the MySheets application just by typing it in the URL there and see if we can get there a little faster. Okay, now we're in as Abraham Lincoln. Remember, Abraham Lincoln was set up as a contributor, not an administrator. So let's scroll down. He does have access to Justin's house, ServiceNow enhancements. Let's go ahead and open up that workspace or that book. And now he can see, this is interesting. So he can contribute, he can add rows, he's got access to the user's view and the administrator's view. So that's interesting to note, even though I kind of made this so that you could only see one thing when you looked at one. If he's a contributor, he can see both views. So that's interesting. So I don't have any security there, but that's okay. I'm learning how this works. He can contribute, so let's go ahead and put in here Abe's idea. And we'll put in there, old guys can have good ideas too. And we'll put his as must have, right? So he's Abe. We have to have his idea. And looks like he can see the form as well. So there's the form, but notice all those configuration options, the sharing capabilities, all that stuff is gone. You can see he hasn't added anything here, so he's just basically able to contribute and not really change anything about this. So you can show things, hide things, stuff like that. So interesting, very interesting there. Just a contributor there, still can't see an automation. So up next, we'll actually impersonate George Washington. So let's get back out here to, let's see if I can do it from here. Nope, I can't. So you can't do your impersonation from this particular portal. I guess this is a portal for MySheets. So I'm going to get back and go ahead and impersonate another user, and we'll pick old George Washington from the list and see what this MySheets looks like for him. And I'm going to do that by just updating the URL like we did for everybody else. And perfect, took us right to MySheets. We are in as George Washington, which you can see there way above my head. And we'll scroll down. He's got access to Justin's house and the ServiceNow enhancement ideas, but he can't do anything. He can't even contribute. So exactly like it sounded, we can set up so that people can come in and just see things but not necessarily change things. So view only is view only, and there's the form. So let's round out this video. We're going to get out of George Washington, and I'm going to go back in as myself. and we're going to go ahead and put some recipients in for the form. So this is something I learned when I made the My Forms application. If you haven't seen that yet, I will include a link up here to the My Forms application that I did, and that is, I think it's also by ServiceNow's Innovation Lab, and I think it's similar to this, but it's very kind of has the My Forms, like a collecting information, but I'm going to go back to MySheets. That loaded up quickly, and let's open up that book there, ServiceNow Enhancements. And for the form here, let's see. Okay, so I skipped over this not intentionally in my first video. I've got a recipients list down here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and add a recipient to this, and we'll pick a user. We'll do Aaron Ramirez, and you'll notice we could pick a group if we wanted to too. So we'll do Aaron Ramirez, hit add, and now Aaron Ramirez should be able to see this particular form, I imagine, within the My Forms application. So in order to test that, we need to impersonate Aaron Ramirez. So let's go ahead and do I need to save anything? Okay, no, I didn't need to save anything. I noticed this with these apps, I'm not having to do a lot of saving or anything like that, so that's interesting. Let's go ahead and impersonate Aaron Ramirez. We'll go ahead and select him here. We're not going to select him, we're going to type him, Aaron Ramirez, and we'll impersonate him. And now when we log in as Aaron Ramirez, we should see not his ability to configure the book or the sheet or the workspace, but just the form that we set up. And look, just like we thought, here it is, forms pending submission, showing up for Aaron Ramirez. So let's go ahead and open that up and see what it looks like. There it is, ServiceNow Enhancements. We'll just call this Aaron's Great Idea, and type correctly, additional details, the best idea of them all. And we'll make this a should have or could have. We got a little, this is interesting, a little reminder there about keeping our answers neutral, not include sensitive, confidential, or personally identifiable information. We'll go ahead and hit submit, and that's it. So now that was Aaron Ramirez's experience as a user that doesn't have admin, contributor, and now the form's gone. So he can still come in, add his own workspace, all that stuff, but for him, all of that's gone. So let's go ahead and hop out of that and go into my account, and we'll take one last look at this to wrap up the video and see what everything looks like with Abraham's, with George Washington, and with Aaron Ramirez responses to that form. So we'll just change this to my sheets again, and there we go, there's my book, and I've got all 4 responses. So everything looked and worked as I would expected. The only thing that threw me off was the contributors and the users or viewers could see all the views. I was expecting the views to use the views as a way to only show certain things to certain people, and it didn't quite work that way. So it seems like the form is where I might want to be selective about what people can see, and I was selective by not showing the actual story. As an administrator though, now if I wanted to come in and associate a story with one of these, I could actually go ahead and start associating stories. So to follow that through, we added this in the first video, but made sure that people like Aaron weren't able to see that. So that is that for this video, number 2, part 2 of MySheets from ServiceNow's Innovation Lab. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, please subscribe, or share it with somebody who you think might be interested in working with this new MySheets application in their ServiceNow instance. And until next time, don't forget to always be learning.